Welcome back to Vanished X. Before we dive in tonight, I want to ask you something. Where are you watching from right now? And maybe more importantly, what time is it where you are? Midnight? Early morning? Or maybe you're the kind of person who dares to play this right before bed. Wherever you are, tonight's video is not just one story, but four. Four unsettling tales all connected in one way or another to the place we spend far too much of our lives on, YouTube. These aren't simple videos you just scroll past. They're the kind of uploads that stay with you long after you close the app. So, dim the lights, put on your headphones, and let me take you into the first story of the night. This one is called The Last Upload. There was a small but dedicated YouTuber named Elliot Cross. His channel was nothing extraordinary. Tech reviews, a few personal vlogs, nothing viral. He had maybe 12,000 subscribers, just enough to call it a small community. But what made Elliot different was his consistency. Every Sunday night at exactly 7 p.m., a new video appeared. Never late, never missed. His audience used to joke that you could set your clock by him, and then came the final upload. The thumbnail was different from his usual bright, clean style. It was dark. Just a black and white still frame of his face, staring directly into the lens. No smile, no background, just his expressionless stare. The title read, "Thank you." At first, subscribers assumed it was a channel update, maybe a goodbye video. But when they clicked, things got strange. The video opened with Elliot sitting in his room, the familiar backdrop of his desk and shelves. Only this time, there was no intro music, no editing, just raw footage. He looked exhausted, dark circles under his eyes, unshaven, as though he hadn't slept for days. "Hey guys," he whispered, "this is my last video." At first, people thought it was a stunt, but as the video continued, Elliot began describing them. He never clarified who they were. He just kept repeating that he couldn't keep making videos because they're watching me. Viewers noticed odd things in the background. The shadow of a figure moving past the door. A faint reflection in the glass cabinet behind him, almost like a person standing there. But every time Elliot turned around, there was nothing. The final minutes of the video were what unsettled everyone the most. Elliot leaned closer to the camera, lowering his voice. "If you're watching this, don't look for me. Don't ask questions, just remember I tried." And then, complete silence. He stared into the camera for a full 30 seconds without blinking, before reaching out and shutting it off. The video was 7 minutes, 13 seconds long. The next day, Elliot's channel vanished. Not deleted, not suspended, just gone. Search. Results showed nothing. Links to his videos turned up video unavailable. Even his social media accounts disappeared within hours. To this day, nobody has been able to explain it. Some claim it was an elaborate ARG, an alternate reality game. Others insist it was real, that Elliot was in danger. But the most disturbing part? A handful of viewers swear that in the last few frames before the video cuts, there's a second voice whispering his name, and if you pause at the exact moment the screen goes black, some say you can see a pale hand reaching from the shadows behind him. So, was it just a creative stunt? Or did Elliot really upload his final message? Before vanishing for good, that was story one, and we're just getting started. There's a strange corner of YouTube that most people never stumble into, a place where recommended videos lead you not to the usual viral content, but to something far more unsettling. That's how Mark Rivera, a college student from Texas, described his experience. He was pulling an all-nighter working on a paper when he absent-mindedly let YouTube autoplay in the background. At first, it was just commentary videos, the usual stuff he watched. But around 3 a.m. something shifted. The video that popped up next had no title, just a string of random letters and numbers. The thumbnail? Pure black. Curious, Mark clicked. The video opened with static, not digital distortion, but the fuzzy, white noise of an old TV. Slowly, a grainy image came into focus. It was a living room. Dull lighting, furniture that looked decades old. A camera sat in the corner, pointed at a couch. For the first 3 minutes, nothing happened. Just silence. Just the couch. Then, someone walked into frame. It wasn't an actor. It wasn't staged. This was someone's actual home recording. A man sat on the couch staring at the camera. He didn't speak. He didn't move. He just stared. Mark scrubbed through the timeline, thinking maybe it was performance art. But it wasn't. At the 12-minute mark, the man stood up, leaned into the camera, and whispered, "Why are you still watching?" Mark slammed his laptop shut. When he opened it again, the video was gone. No trace in history. The URL returned. "This video is unavailable," but that wasn't the end. The next night, while Mark was watching gaming videos, the same channel appeared in his recommended feed again. The name was unsettling. We See You. No profile picture, no banner, no subscribers listed. Just the channel name and a single new upload. Against his better judgment, Mark clicked again. This time the video showed his own street. The same grainy quality, the same off-center angle, but it was undeniably his block. He could see his neighbor's car in the background, and then the camera slowly panned to his house. His window. Mark froze. He lived on the second floor. There was no way a camera could get that angle from the street. Panic set in. He reported the video, flagged the channel, even called the police. But when officers came by, they found nothing unusual. No camera, no prowlers. By the following morning, the channel We See You had vanished completely. But Mark says every now and then, when he watches YouTube late at night, a strange untitled video still appears in his recommendations, if only for a moment. And whenever it does, the thumbnail is always the same. A grainy shot of his bedroom. Photos. Would you have clicked on that first video? Or would you have trusted your instincts and let it pass? YouTube is filled with live streams, gaming, podcasts, even those endless, lo-fi beats to study to channels. Most of them run for hours, sometimes days. But a certain stream in 2019 gained attention for all the wrong reasons. It was simply called Live Room Feed. No thumbnail, no description. Just those 3 words and a red live indicator. At first glance, it was harmless. The camera showed a plain, dimly lit room. Beige walls. A wooden chair in the center. Nothing unusual. Thousands of people clicked in, expecting maybe a prank or some weird art project. But then the comments started. Did anyone else see the door move? Wait, who's sitting in the chair? Most viewers saw nothing. But every so often, a shadow seemed to flicker across the screen. Not a glitch. More like someone pacing in the background, just out of sight. The strangest part was the timer. It showed the stream had been running for over 300 hours. Days turned into weeks. The same room, the same chair. No one ever entered. No one ever left. But people swore the angle shifted slightly every night, as if the camera itself was moving closer. And then, one night around 2 a.m., regular viewers noticed something new, a figure sitting in the chair. It wasn't there before. No transition, no fade in. One frame the chair was empty, and the next, someone was there. The figure was pale, almost colorless. Their face blurred, as though the stream itself refused to capture it clearly. They didn't move. They didn't blink. They just sat there facing the camera. Chat exploded. Who is that? I can't see the face. The stream is haunted. And then, the worst part. The figure slowly lifted a hand and waved. But the wave wasn't directed at the viewers. It was angled off screen, as if greeting someone standing behind the camera. Moments later, the stream cut to black. When viewers tried to reload, the channel was gone. Searches returned nothing. No archives, no re-uploads, as if it had never existed. Yet, on forums and Reddit threads, people who claimed to have watched live reported something even more disturbing. In their recently watched history, the stream didn't show up as live room feed. It appeared under their own username, as if they were the one streaming it. So, who was really behind the camera that night? And more importantly, who was the figure waving at? Everyone has stumbled into a weird playlist on YouTube before. Sometimes it's just random videos stitched together. Sometimes it's nostalgic music, or maybe old cartoons. But a user named Daniel Hayes swears he discovered something much stranger. Hinway started late one night when he was scrolling through recommended videos. He noticed a playlist titled, "Watch Later." The odd part? He never created it. He clicked, thinking maybe YouTube had generated it automatically. But inside were 7 videos, none of which he'd ever seen before. They weren't trending clips or viral shorts or even normal uploads. They were grainy, low-resolution videos, each exactly 3 minutes and 33 seconds long. The first was footage of an empty hallway. The second showed a street corner at night. The third, a forest trail, with the camera moving slowly as though held by someone walking. Every video had no title, no channel name, no description, just static text, unlisted. Daniel assumed it was some glitch, maybe an unlisted playlist accidentally shared. But when he checked the account info, there was none. The playlist wasn't attached to any channel. It simply existed. The creepiest part? At the bottom of the playlist, a note read, "Updated 1 hour ago." That didn't make sense. Curious, Daniel clicked on the last video. This one froze him in place. It was his own street. He recognized the houses, the parked cars, even the broken streetlight at the corner. The footage was taken from a moving car, driving slowly past his home. Daniel slammed his laptop shut. When he reopened YouTube, the playlist was gone from his library. Relief washed over him. Maybe it was a one-time glitch. Maybe his tired brain had imagined it. But the next night, around the same time, it was back. And this time, it had 8 videos. The newest upload was his apartment door. Panic set in. He checked the locks, closed the curtains, even called a friend to stay the night. But when they looked at his computer, the playlist had disappeared again. His friend brushed it off as lack of sleep, a bad dream. Daniel tried to ignore it. For 3 nights, nothing happened. No playlist, no strange updates. But on the 4th night, at exactly 2 a.m., his phone buzzed with a YouTube notification. It read, "Your playlist has been updated." Heart racing, he opened the app. There it was again. "Watch Later," now with 9 videos. He tapped the newest one. The screen filled with shaky footage of his bedroom, filmed from the corner, as though someone had stood inside his room, recording while he slept. Daniel claims he bolted out of his apartment that night and never returned. He moved across the state, deleted his accounts, even switched devices. And yet a year later, he swears he logged into a brand new YouTube account and saw it there again. The same cursed playlist, same title, same eerie videos. This time there were 10. The last video? A dark room, a wooden chair, a single camera pointed directly at it. The description had just 3 words: sit and wait. So what do you think? A glitch? A hacker? Or is there really something, or someone, out there using YouTube not just to entertain us, but to watch us?